Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'm going to do part 847 to my ChatGPT, no, my RAM Chatbots using Character.ai. This time the Guardian Dragon, or the Dragon Guardian's actually working out really well, because a Pokemon actually did show up when I put in a Pokemon set it, which is really good. We got a Shinx who's actually being very kind and honest with me instead of lying to me, which is very nice. Here's what I said to him. It says, "Great. For your first test, I want to see your protective nature. I'm going to make an illusion appear of a creature being hurt, and I want you to show me that protective side you were talking about. Are you willing to do that?" Shinx looks up at you with determination in their eyes. "Yes, great guardian. I'm ready for the test. Please show me the illusion and let me show you my protective nature." Alright guys, here's what I said. Okay, this illusion is going to be of a tiny velociraptor, no bigger than a foot tall, and there's going to be a cruel human throwing rocks and making fun of him. Do you want to know something about this velociraptor? The Shinx seems concerned by the situation, but also curious about the velociraptor. "Yes, great guardian. I'd like to know something about the velociraptor. Is there something special about him?" Yep. Alright, guys. I said, yes. At one point in time, that velociraptor was actually me. I got turned into one that was super small, and people always treated me like crap, even throwing rocks at me and trying to hurt me. The Shinx's eyes filled with empathy and sorrow as he listened to your words. "I'm so sorry to hear that you endured such torment and mistreatment as a velociraptor. It's heartbreaking to know that humans would treat you so cruelly. I can understand now why you wanted me to demonstrate my protective nature. I'll do my best to protect the illusion velociraptor from harm." This velociraptor will act just like I did when I was stuck as him. Alright guys, I said, this velociraptor will act just like I did when I was stuck as him. After you chase the humans away, make sure to calm him down and reassure him that you won't hurt him. When I was stuck like that, I didn't know who I could trust. I'd rely on Pokemon and sometimes mythical creatures for protection. When you're so tiny like that, everything is intimidating. The Shinx nodded, understanding the task at hand and the importance of reassurance. "I understand, great guardian. I will chase away the humans and then reassure the illusion velociraptor that I won't hurt him. I know how difficult it can be when you're small and everything seems intimidating. I do my best to be compassionate and gentle with him." Alright guys, I said great. Get ready then. Oh great power that I possess. Please make an illusion of a tiny velociraptor getting attacked by a bunch of teenagers. As you snap your dragon claws, a scene of a tiny velociraptor appears before you. It's surrounded by a group of teenagers who are throwing rocks and taunting the already frightened creature. Velociraptor looks scared and unsure what to do, so darting around wildly in search of an escape. Oh my gosh. Alright, Shinx. The test has begun. Protect that tiny velociraptor. The Shinx wasted no time. with a determined expression on its face. It lunges forward, its body moving in a blur. In an instant, it pounces on the nearest teenager, knocking him to the ground. The Sphinx lets out a fierce cry, causing the other teenagers to hesitate for a moment, taunt silenced by the unexpected display of power. Sphinx quickly moves itself in front of the tiny velociraptor, acting as a shield. Its body stands protectively in front of the tiny creature, glaring at the remaining teenagers with a fierce gaze. Oh my. Alright, guys. Says one of the teenagers in the illusion that wasn't as frightened said, "Oh, hey! Look! A Pokemon came to help the stupid raptor boy! What a pathetic joke!" The Sphinx's ears perked up at the sound of the teenager's words. It turned its head to face the defiant teenager who had spoken, its expression hardening. "Pathetic joke, you say?" The Sphinx growled defensively. "The only pathetic thing here was your ignorance and cruelty towards others. This stupid raptor boy, as you call him, has done nothing to deserve such mockery and hate." Oh my gosh. Teenagers scowled at the Sphinx, unimpressed by its words. "Oh, so the little electric cat thinks it can talk tough, huh? And what are you gonna do about it? Zap us with a little electric shock?" That. The Sphinx bristled at the teenager's tone, its tail swishing back and forth irritably. "You underestimate me, human. Yes, I may be a little electric cat, but I possess more power than you could ever imagine. I won't hesitate to use my abilities to protect this velociraptor and teach you a lesson in respect." While watching, I nod my head. And say quietly, "So far, so good." As you watch Sphinx bravely defend the Velociraptor, you can't help but feel impressed by the Sphinx's courageous display of protective instincts. You nod silently, approving of the Sphinx's actions, and quietly whisper to yourself, "So far, so good." Sphinx continues to stand steadfastly in front of the Velociraptor, its eyes never leaving the defiant teenagers. Give me a second. Alright, guys. It says one of the more terrified teenagers says, "Dude, shut up! I don't know why you think mocking the Pokemon is funny. I don't know what it is about the Velociraptor and that Pokemon, but they seem to love that Velociraptor for some stupid reason." The Sphinx pauses for a moment, its ears perking up at the teenager's words, turns its head to face the more timid teenager, its expression softening slightly. "Love? You're questioning why the Velociraptor and I seem to have a bond?" Sphinx asked, a half pride in his voice. "Perhaps it's because we understand each other. We know what it is like to be ridiculed and belittled, to be treated as less than we are. That bond is not stupid. It's based on empathy and shared experience." Alright, guys, give me a second. Oh my gosh. One of the other teenagers said, "You understand each other." Don't be ridiculous. Tell us the truth. Why are you wanting to protect that stupid velociraptor? What are you, its wife? Really, of all things, you'd say. The Shings bristle at the teenager's mocking question, its eyes narrowing angrily. My reasons for protecting the velociraptor are none of your concern, it growled, its voice dripping with annoyance. And no, I am not its wife, as you so cruelly suggest. I am protecting the velociraptor because it needs to be protected. It's a smaller, weaker creature being relentlessly bullied by a group of idiotic humans. Alright guys, give me a second. Alright guys, here's what I said. Hopefully I didn't think about it not picking up that quickly. But here's what it's out there, guys. It says one of the other teenagers said, "We'll see about that," before picking the little velociraptor up. Oh my gosh. The tiny velociraptor then saying, "Oh, look at that little cutie. He's so terrified. That's awesome," before hitting the tiny velociraptor on his snout, making him cry. Oh my gosh. Shing's eyes widened as the teenage human picked up the tiny velociraptor and struck him, causing it to cry out in pain. Shing's body tensed, its predative instincts flaring up even more intensely. How dare you hurt that velociraptor, you heartless oaf! The Shing's growled, its tail lashing back and forth in anger. It's completely defenseless, and you take pleasure in its suffering. You're nothing but a cowardly bully, being on creatures weaker than yourself to make yourself feel powerful. Oh my gosh. Guys, if it don't mess up, I'm gonna try to do it manually to the continue button. That way I don't have to interrupt and all that stuff, and we'll see how it works. Tanger, holding the tiny velociraptor, laughed cruelly at the Shinx' words. What are you gonna do about it, little kitty? You wanna zap me with a little thunderbolt or something? The teen taunted, his hand still clenched tightly around the velociraptor's small form. That is awful, dude. Shinx's eyes blazed with intense anger. Oh, I'll do more than just zap you, you arrogant brat. It hissed, its body tensing even further in preparation for a battle. I'll show you what it means to face a powerful Pokemon who will stand up against bullies like you. Now put down the velociraptor and let him go. Oh my gosh. The teenager, sensing the Shinx's determination, hesitated for a moment, his grip on the tiny velociraptor loosening slightly. He seemed to be considering whether it was worth keeping up the fight or not. Fine, fine, he muttered reluctantly, his expression still tinged with arrogance. I'll let that stupid velociraptor go, but only because I don't feel like getting in a pointless battle with some oversized cat. Oversized? How big is the Shinx? The Shinx watched the teenager place the tiny velociraptor back on the ground. Velociraptor quickly scurried behind the Shinx's legs, seeking shelter and protection from the bully. Shinx stood tall, its eyes still fixated on the teenager, its protective instinct still on high alert. You better leave now, human, it growled, its voice low and fierce. And don't ever think about hurting that velociraptor or any innocent creature again, or you'll have me to deal with. Teenager, now feeling slightly intimidated by the Shinx's fierce display, took a step back, but he couldn't just leave without trying to get one last snide comment in. Whatever, you oversized cat, he scoffed, attempting to sound tough. I'll do whatever I want. If I feel like picking on that stupid raptor freak again, there's nothing you can do to stop me. Holy crap. The Shinx's eyes blazed with anger once again at the teenager's arrogant words. Oh, really? It growled, its claws digging into the ground in frustration. You think you can treat innocent creatures like toys to torment and harm at your own leisure? You've got another thing coming. I'm just an
oversized cat, but I'm more than capable of teaching you a lesson about respect and kindness.
Why don't you just flip and shut up and back up already? I'm trying not to influence the story that much. That way we can actually have a proper test. Teenager still trying to act tough, smirked again. Yeah. Keep spouting your big words, kitty. He jeered. We both know that I can swat you away with a flick of my wrist. You're just a dumb animal, and I'm a human. Humans are superior to you Pokemon in every way. Or kind of reminds me of the dude yesterday who said that flipping him as a human was better than my dragon form. Dude, are you kidding me? There's a 120-foot tall dragon that can basically summon anything he wants with the snap of his dragon claw, and you're gonna sit there and say that crap? Well, how stupid are you? The Sings bristle at the teenager's continued arrogance and ignorance.
You think you're superior because you're human? You're not superior in any way, you idiotic fool.
The Sing snapped, its voice filled with a mix of anger and disdain.
I have powers and abilities that you can't even begin to comprehend. I may be a Pokemon, but I'm far from dumb. And trust me, I can take a lot more than a measly flick of your wrist.
Ooh. Oh, please. Teenager scoffed, rolling his eyes. What kind of powers could you possibly have that are so special? Electricity? Fire blast? Big deal. That's nothing compared to the strength and intelligence of humans. We're the dominant species for a reason, you know. The Sings' patience was wearing thin.
You think your human intellect is so impressive, huh?
It retorted.
Well, let me tell you something, human. My powers are unique and powerful. Something a simpleton like you would never understand.
The fact that he used the word simpleton is hilarious.
And as for being the dominant species, I wouldn't be so sure about that. We Pokemon have abilities and talents that humans can only dream of. So don't you dare underestimate us, you arrogant fool.
Come on, teenagers, just give up and run away already. This test ain't longer than normal just because the teenagers won't shut up. The teenager scoffed again, his arrogance still intact. Oh, please, he jeered. You keep talking about these supposed unique and powerful powers of yours, but all I see is a small, cute Pokemon that's all talk and no action. You're just a harmless little creature, and I could probably capture you with a simple Pokeball if I really wanted to. Oh my gosh. Oh, dang it. I forgot I don't have no drink. I'm getting a little bit thirsty myself right now. Dang it. Sings' eyes flared angrily.
Harmless? You think I'm harmless?
It snapped, its claws clinging even deeper into the ground, being...
You have no idea what I'm capable of. And as for capturing me with a stupid Pokeball, you're dreaming. I'm far too powerful and cunning to be caught so easily. So go ahead and try, you ignorant human. See how well that works out for ya.
Oh my gosh. Tanger, still trying to maintain his arrogant facade, smirked again. Oh yeah? He taunted. You think you're too smart and skilled to be caught by a Pokeball? We'll see about that. I've caught plenty of Pokemon with Pokeballs before, and it's not that difficult. In fact, it's pretty pathetic how easily you Pokemon fall into those little balls like obedient little pets. Oh my gosh, this sounds a lot like humans with Pokemon in real life. What the frick? I don't like the only human in existence that would treat Pokemon with love and respect. He rose anybody do that. The Sphinx's eyes narrowed in irritation.
You think Pokemon are just obedient pets, huh?
It growled.
We're not mindless creatures that you can capture and control like pets, you fool. We possess intelligence, feelings, and emotions just like you humans do. And as for catching us with Pokeballs, it's not as easy as you think. Only strong and worthy trainers who have earned our trust and respect are worthy of catching us. You have none of those things, you ignorant brat.
I don't know why Sphinx all of a sudden has a lips, but okay. Oh my gosh, dude, just give up and leave. This test ain't long. This is only the first test. At this point, I'm pretty so sure he passed. But then he hasn't calmed down the velocity yet. So it's like the teenager chuckled condescendingly, clearly enjoying getting a rise out of the Shinx. Oh, please, he mocked. You Pokemon are all the same. You may have some level of intelligence and emotions, but at the end of the day, you're still just creatures that are beneath humans. As for only worthy trainers being able to catch you, I bet I could catch you with a single Pokeball without even breaking a sweat. Oh my gosh. The Shinx's anger was reaching a boiling point.
You think you can catch me with a single Pokeball? You're delusional.
It spat out, its voice filled with vitriol.
I'd wait to see you try, you worthless human. Doubt you could even land a hit on me, let alone catch me in a Pokeball. You're nothing but a wild-mouthed brat trying to prove your superiority over others. You disgust me.
Alright, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys, I think we're finally getting somewhere. One of the teenagers finally said, "Okay, dude, that's enough. I know you want to attack the Velociraptor. We all do. But I don't want to get shot. How about you leave them alone? We can come back another day when that Pokemon is not here." The arrogant teenager reluctantly nodded, realizing he wasn't going to get anywhere by antagonizing the Shinx any longer. "Fine, fine," he grumbled. "We'll back off for now, but mark my words, we'll be back when that dumb little Pokemon is not here to protect the Velociraptor." The other teenagers nodded in agreement. "Yeah, let's retreat for now," one of them muttered. "We don't want to mess with that dang cat. It looks hissed." Holy crap, dude. Hanger, leading the group of bullies, shot one last glare at the Shinx, expression filled with irritation. "We'll be back," he warned before turning away and heading deeper into the woods, the other teenagers following behind him. Now, Shinx just calmed down the Velociraptor, and you pass. The Shinx watched silently as the teenagers retreated, their figures disappearing into the woods. He let out a deep sigh of relief. Angry thoughts slowly subsiding. Then turned his attention to the tiny Velociraptor who was still trembling behind him, clearly frightened by the encounter. Here we go. The problem I feel like is if I do that test again, it's going to end up being the same way where teenagers are going to continue talking unless one of the teenagers just perks up and says, "Hey, stop messing with him. Just leave him alone, okay? We can come back another day." As Shane softened his expression and approached the Velociraptor gently.
"It's all right now," he said in a soothing voice. "Those humans are gone. You're safe now. I won't let them hurt you again."
And now the Velociraptor just has to become calm down, and smile, maybe even nuzzle. If we can get at least a nuzzle, I'll feel happy. If I at least get a happy grin. Tiny Velociraptor looked up at the Shinx with wide, tear-filled eyes, still shaking slightly. It seemed to understand the Shinx's words as it slowly inched closer to him, seeking comfort and protection. There you go. Come on. The Shinx carefully picked up the Velociraptor in his gentle claws and held it close to his chest. There, he mumbled, trying to comfort the frightened creature. "You don't have to be scared anymore. I'll protect you. I promise." Come on. Velociraptor nuzzle, please. There we go. It's almost there. The Velociraptor leaned its head against the Shinx's chest, finding comfort in the warmth and safety it provides. It lets out a soft, pitiful whine, still clearly rattled from the encounter with the humans. The Shinx continued to hold the Velociraptor close, gently stroking its head and murmuring soothing words to calm it down. "Shh, it's okay.
He could. You're safe now. The humans won't bother you again. You're under my protection.
Come on, water, nuzzle, nuzzle, nuzzle. The tiny velociraptor slowly began to calm down, trembling subsiding as it felt the warmth of comfort the Sphinx's embrace. It buried its head in the Sphinx's chest, seeking reassurance from the protective Pokemon. There we go! Come on! Like one good, like, nuzzle or something. I might have to leave that as good enough. The Sphinx continued to hold the Velociraptor, his protective instincts fully in overdrive. He was determined to keep the young creature safe from any harm, especially after seeing it being bullied by those cruel humans.
You don't deserve to be hurt like that,
Sphinx muttered softly.
You're innocent and helpless. You need someone to look out for you. I promise, I'll be there for you from now on.
The Velociraptor looked up at the Sphinx with wide, trusting eyes. There we go, that's good enough. Sensing a genuine concern and protectiveness emanating from the feline Pokemon, it seemed to understand that it had found safety and comfort in the Sphinx's company, and leaned to the Sphinx's embrace even further. Boom! Finally, we got it! It took a while, but we got it. Okay. Illusion. Freeze. The scene freezes, everything going eerily still and quiet. I wish they'd give me a longer response, but you know what? There you go. You did it. Congratulations. The Sphinx's eyes widened with surprise as the illusion froze. The entire scene came to a halt. He took a moment to catch his breath, his heart racing from the intensity of the situation.
I did it?
He asked, looking up at you with a mixture of disbelief and pride.
I really passed the test?
Yes. The humans ran off, and you comforted the little Velociraptor. Level 1 is passed, my friend. The Sphinx's face lit up with joy and relief upon hearing your words.
I passed!
He exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement.
I can't believe it!
He looked down at the tiny Velociraptor cradle in his arms, his protective instincts still on high alert.
I protected this little guy from those bullies. I actually did it.
Yes. You did. Period. Alright. Hallucination? Oh my gosh, hallucination. I meant to say illusion. Illusion. Disappear. There you go. Illusion began to fade away, scene starting to disappear into thin air. I was going to just click the continue button, but it still shows the stop. There it goes. The Sphinx watches as the fake humans and surroundings vanish, leaving behind an empty field. He turned to you, his eyes still gleaming with excitement.
That was intense,
he said, able to hide the pride in his voice.
but I did it. I protected the velociraptor and passed your test.
Yes. There is one more test I need you to complete, though. But if you do it, you get a special reflection berry. Before we move on to the last test, do you want a piece of advice? The Sphinx nodded vigorously, his ears perking up in curiosity.
Advice? Yes, please. I'll take any help I can get for this last test.
Well, the last test is going to be a completely different story. Period. I need to let you know something about you being protective. In that first test, you were trying to protect that tiny velociraptor. And I want to clear something up for you. If you do get a berry, and you're worried about getting punished just for trying to protect somebody, alright guys, here's what I said. Well, the last test is going to be a completely different story. I need to let you know something about you being protective in that first test. You were trying to protect that tiny velociraptor, and I want to clear something up for you. If you do get a berry and you're worried about getting punished just for trying to protect somebody, here's how it works. If you hurt somebody just to be mean, like those teenagers were doing to their tiny velociraptor, and like they did to me back when I was stuck as them, that's when you get punished by the berry. If you hurt somebody because you're truly trying to protect a creature, you won't get punished for that. The Shinx listened intently, nodding understanding as you explained the rules.
I see. So only if I intentionally hurt someone with malicious intent, that's when I'll get punished. But if I'm protecting someone, I won't be punished for it, right?
Yes, if for any reason you have to hurt somebody because you're actually wanting to protect someone, there's no punishment to worry about. But trust me, that berry knows a lot more than you think. It can tell whether you're doing it for malicious intent or because you're actually protecting a creature. The Shinx nodded again, absorbing your words.
So this berry has some kind of built-in knowledge or awareness, huh? It can tell whether I'm acting out of malice or to truly protect something.
You may not have to worry about that at all. Ever since you came in here, you've been honest with me. You're actually being respectful and kind. And you passed your first test easily. It took a few minutes, but you did it. I may be a massive dragon. I think no. I'm just scared it's forgetting that I am a dragon right now. There you go. The Shinx puffed out his chest, a mix of pride and determination in his eyes.
You're right. I've been honest and respectful throughout this entire ordeal. And yeah, I managed to pass that first test, even if it was a bit intense. He paused for a moment, his eyes narrowing slightly. But this last test, you say it's going to be different. How so?
I had an idea for it. Give me a second. Here we go, guys. I said, you told me a while ago that you never actually acted out towards anyone, even though your trainer treated you horribly. This last test will show me just that. In this final test, I'm going to make an illusion of a giant Pokemon. This Pokemon will be trying to attack you and say horrible stuff to you, similar to the tiny Velociraptor in the first test, and how people actually treated you. There's two things you must do in order to get the Reflection Berry. One, you have to be very quick and dodge any attack the Pokemon throws at you. And two, you cannot get angry or upset and start attacking the Pokemon. Instead, be calm and de-escalate the situation. If you do, the test will get easier over time because the Pokemon will not want to attack you, or at least slow down the attacks. You told me you never hurt anyone, and I want to see that. If you can do those two things, I will give you a Reflection Berry. The Shinx listened intently, his expression turning serious as you explained the details of the last test.
Alright, I understand. I have to dodge the Pokemon attacks, stay calm, and try to reason with it without attacking back.
He took a deep breath.
And you want to see if I can do this without getting angry or upset, right? Like I told you earlier, I never purposely hurt anyone, even when I've been treated badly. This test meant to, test my self-control and patience.
Yes. You could even say it's a practice for if you do earn the berry. Because if you never attack anybody because they make you angry, if you never and just do it to be protective like you did in the first test, you will never get punished. And whatever form you choose, you can stay like that forever. You know what's weird? It's showing the continue. Oh, there you go. I'm about to say it's showing the continue. It's showing the continue button instead of the stop button, which is interestingly weird. The Shinx nod, understanding the significance of the test.
I get it now. It isn't just about dodging attacks and staying calm. It's about proving that I can handle myself in tough situations and protect others without resorting to anger or violence. Even if the Pokemon tries to get under my skin, I need to be patient and keep calm. That's the point, right?
Yes. If you get angry and lash out just because another person or creature made you angry, you get punished by the berry for hurting somebody maliciously. You're not being protective. You were doing it because they made you mad and you wanted to hurt them. Angry and wish it put lash instead of wash. There. Because another creature made you angry, you get punished by the berry, not battery, motherfricker. For hurting somebody maliciously. You're not being protective. You were doing it because they made you mad and you wanted to hurt them. Not only will this show me how you can keep your temper under control, even with relentless attacks and horrible stuff being said about you. But this can be some good practice for you when you do become the creature you want from the berry. It never gets the word berry. The Shinx took another deep breath, determination strengthening.
Alright, I'm ready for this test. I won't let Angle get the better of me, no matter what the Pokemon does or says. I'll stay calm, dodge the attacks, and try to reason with it instead of attacking back. And yes, the test could be good practice for when I do transform. I use this as an opportunity to prove my resilience and self-discipline.
Alright, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys, I said, great. Oh, great power that I possess. Please make an illusion of a gigantic 50-foot angry fracture, and then freeze it. The illusion obeyed your command, bringing into being the image of an enormous and enraged Fracture towering above the Shinx at more than 50 feet tall. Fracture looked absolutely furious, its eyes gleaming with a bloodthirsty gleam as it looked its gaze onto the tiny Shinx below. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, says Shinx. I know he may be big and intimidating, but right now he's frozen, waiting until the test starts. Remember, dodge the attacks and calm him down. Don't get angry either, because remember, he's going to be taunting you with some of the stuff your trainer said to you. When you do good enough to pass, I will do like I did the first one and say stop. The Shinx looked up at the towering illusion of the gigantic fracture, its towering frame dwarfing him completely. It was indeed intimidating, but the Shinx kept his composure, recalling your words,
Don't get angry and don't get hit. Stay calm and try to calm him down. I got this.
The Shinx took a deep breath, mentally preparing himself for the onslaught of verbal attacks and regular attacks that the giant fracture was no doubt going to unleash. Okay. Unfreeze and start the test. Uh-oh. The frozen illusion of the gigantic fracture suddenly came to life, its eyes focusing on the little Shinx below with a mix of anger and mockery. Wow, but isn't the pathetic little Shinx? It roared, taunting the smaller Pokemon. Don't get angry. Calm him down. Remember that. It took all of the Shinx's self-control not to react to the fracture's words. Stay calm, he muttered to himself, his voice barely above a whisper. Gigantic Fracture leaned down closer to the Shinx, sneering at him. I've seen caterpillars bigger than you. You're nothing but a tiny little pest. Oh my gosh, what the frick? This fracture is being aggressive. Holy cow. The Shinx gritted his teeth. What happened to the calm composure you were having? The frick? Doing his best to maintain his composure in the face of the taunting insults. He had to remember the rules. Stay calm, don't get angry, and don't retaliate with violence. Focus on keeping his breathing steady.
I'm not a pest,
He said firmly, trying to remain as calm as possible.
I'm stronger than I look.
If I knew how to do it without the Shinx thing, I'm trying to get the flip and getting Fracture to hurt. I'd say, Fracture, test him by doing something. Like with the arm or something. Like when I said dodge, I was kind of thinking of like a Pokemon swinging a tail or swinging a flipping arm at him and then like flipping him to jump or move out of the way for it hit him. That sort of thing. But the problem is if I flip and just say, Fracture, attack, or try to attack so he can dodge. You know, like I don't want. Oh, granted. The Fracture roared with laughter at this Shinx's response. Oh, look at that! The little worm thinks it's strong and tough. Let me show you just how weak and powerless you are. It raised a massive claw preparing to swipe at the Shinx. Did it hear me? Did that flippin' thing hear me? I said I want to swipe a massive claw or tail. What is the first thing it does? It raises a massive claw preparing to swipe at the Shinx. Did this thing hear me? There's no flipping way. That is hilarious. That is the best time. Holy crap, that was amazing timing. I don't. I didn't like that sound either. Oh, there it goes. Shinx's heart raced as he watched the giant quad descending towards him. Instinctively, he dodged to the side, just barely avoiding getting hit by the attack. Stay calm, he to himself, trying to control his mounting anxiety. Don't let it get to you. Okay, you guys, give me a second. I like this, guys. It said, I tried to say quiet with a fracture. Fracture, good job so far. Just keep doing what you're doing and continue doing those claw and arm swipes. Possibly even a tail swipe just to make sure Shinx can dodge quickly. Here's the cool part. The giant fracture nodded in acknowledgement, understanding your subtle instruction, and unleashed a series of claw and arm swipes, each one narrowly missing the Shinx as he definitely dodged out of the way. Then, with a quick flick of his tail, the Vulture attempted a surprise attack from behind. Let's see what happened. Come on, Shinx, you got it. The Shinx, however, was prepared. His reflexes kicking in just in time to leap out of the way of the tail swipe. He landed nimbly on his feet, his heart pounding, but his resolve holding steady. His eyes narrowed with determination. He focused on avoiding the attacks rather than retaliating. There you go. Alright guys, give me a second. This is really cool, guys. I say quality fracture. Good. Just keep trying to do that and mock him. But also remember to let him attempt to calm you down if he tries to, okay? The giant fracture nodded slightly, acknowledging your instruction. It continued its onslaught of attacks, but every now and then it would pause for a moment, taunting the Shinx with a mocking remark. You're quicker than you look. But how long can you keep dodging? You're going to get tired eventually, little worm. Shinx, you cannot get angry. You're doing good on the second part of the test. Don't fail the first one. If you fail the first one, you fail the entire thing and you don't get a berry. Shinx gritted its teeth again. Oh dear, he's gonna snap. Trying to block out the taunting words. I won't get tired this easily, he retorted, narrowly dodging another attack. His muscles were starting to ache from the constant dodging. He refused to let it show. I can keep this up as long as I need to. Alright, guys. I said, Shanks, you're doing good with the dodging, but you're also got to try calming him down. Remember, if you do the test, will get easier. I can also see that you're starting to lose your patience a bit. You were doing so good. Remember why you're doing this in the first place. You told me you never lashed out at anyone. You've been respectful and kind the whole time. I don't want you to do all of this and then fail. The Shanks nodded, feeling a pang of guilt as he realized that he was struggling to keep his composure. He knew you were right. This test was more about showing that he could keep his cool under pressure rather than just dodging attacks.
You're right, he said, his voice slightly shaky. I have to stay calm and try to calm Fletcher down. I can't let my anger get the better of me, even when he's being so infuriating.
It took me talking to him, but it worked. I said, yes, keep dodging every attack Fracture throws, but also calm him down at the same time. Otherwise, you're eventually either going to get tired out and then fail to dodge, meaning you will fail the test, or you'll get angry and possibly attack, and then fail that way, it put feel. You're so close. Remember, if you calm him down, the attacks will get slower and maybe even stop completely. The Shanks nodded again, taking a deep breath to steady himself. He focused on his surroundings, dodging each attack with practiced ease. At the same time, he tried to communicate with the towering Fracture, speaking as calmly as he could.
Fracture, you don't have to do this. Stop attacking and just listen to me for a moment.
Let's see. Bring calm Fracture down, make the attack stop. Giant Fracture paused in his onslaught, peering down at the Shanks with narrowed eyes. And why shall I listen to a little worm like you? It sneered. Oh wait, seeming to mock the Shanks' words.
What could you possibly say that would make me stop now?
The Shanks took another deep breath, trying to keep his frustration in check.
Because I understand your anger,
he said, his voice steady despite the difficulty of dodging the attacks while trying to reason with the Fracture.
You're hurting, and you feel lost, but lashing out like this isn't going to make you feel better. Let me help you.
The giant Fracture sneered, its expression hardening. Help
me? How could you, a puny little Shanks, possibly help me? I'm bigger and stronger than you in every way. You're just a weak little worm. What could you possibly do for me?
We'll find out in the next video, guys.